2 hours after uploading last week's episode, I became aware of the suicide of Verne Troyer. A statement regarding his death at the tragically young age of 49 referred heavily to depression and suicide, and to struggles that the star had overcome numerous times, but had been unable to win against this time. He is by no means the first, nor sadly will he be the last person to suffer from depression to decide to end their own life. We men are trained almost from birth to internalise our feelings, and that is not healthy. As my old maths teacher used to say, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. If you are worried that you may be depressed, or you have been diagnosed with depression and are worried that you may be suffering from an episode, then please reach out to the people close to you. Your partner, your friends or family will support you. Or, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then there are numerous free and confidential numbers that you can call, or organisations that you can contact online. I'm not going to pretend for a second to understand what it's like to have depression, but I have seen the aftermath of someone taking their own life in response to it, and I just want you to know that you are not alone. And if you reach out for help, you will be surprised the amount of people that are there for you. Suicide is never the answer. It is simply a permanent solution to a temporary problem. The world is beautiful and it needs you in it. And with that in mind, I tried to find happier news this week, and couldn't, so I'm just putting loads of puppy videos up again. The happier story of the week features Fox and its frankly baffling decision to make a film based around the old Choose Your Own Adventure books. As at the company's CinemaCon presentation in Las Vegas, executives announced that they've hatched a deal with interactive film company Kino Industries to develop an app that should bring the essential elements of the books to life. Choose Your Own Adventure books, created by Edward Packard and assisted by R.A. Montgomery, arrived in the 1980s and, after a slow start, became a massive hit, spurring a long series of tomes where readers could dictate where the story goes. According to The Wrap, no relation to this show, the new movie will work just like the classic book series. The plot will start at the same place every time. The audience will be prompted to make a decision by voting on an app called the Control Movie on the screen. Much like the books, this decision will affect which part of the movie the audience sees next. Fox just showed an audience at CinemaCon how it will work, and the decision process is reportedly similar to that in video games by Telltale. I struggle to think of a single positive to this idea, as it will involve people repeatedly getting their phones out, half the audience being annoyed at the other half for ruining the film, runtimes changing every time, annoying the cinema staff, you can forget about immersion, and good luck to the actors as well. I mean, it's almost as stupid an idea as the thought that Avengers Infinity War, currently on track to be the highest grossing film of all time, managed to seriously hack off the Australians. Wait, they actually did that? I didn't realise that you could do that. All that Australians were aware of any films beyond Crocodile Dundee and Muriel's Wedding. You see, for most of the world, Avengers Infinity War hit cinemas on Friday, April 27th. However, a few countries were able to see the biggest Marvel Cinematic Universe film yet a couple of days earlier on Wednesday, April 25th. And for Australia and New Zealand, that was a problem. One that led to some calling for the screenings to be cancelled altogether. As reported by 9 News, some Australian fans called for the April 25th screenings of the third Avengers film to be cancelled because they fell on a sombre national holiday, Anzac Day. With films traditionally released on Thursdays in Australia, some feel that by releasing the film on Wednesday, Marvel Studios is attempting to disrespectfully capitalise on the holiday. Now, for those who aren't familiar, Anzac Day is a national day of remembrance in Australia and New Zealand that commemorates all Australians and New Zealanders who have served and died in all wars and conflicts, as well as the contributions and suffering of all people who have served. It is similar to the American Memorial Day holiday, or in the United Kingdom, our November 11th memorials. So Anzac Day is a half-day holiday, typically observed with commemorative services at dawn, followed by marches. The holiday is taken so seriously in Australia that most stores and businesses are not permitted to open for business until 1 PM or later. Movie theatres, however, are allowed to open at 10 AM, while there are those calling for cancellation of all Infinity War screenings on Anzac Day. According to Australia's Today Show entertainment editor Richard Wilkins, the real issue are the morning screenings. Open quote, "My issue is not that Avengers is opening a day earlier. It's that cinemas are allowed to operate from 10 AM at all, when most other retailers are restricted until 1 PM, end quote, Wilkins said. I believe the cinema chain should show the respect that Anzac Day warrants and commands. It's a day for solemn reflection and commemoration, one of the most sacred days in our calendar, and we should do everything we can to reinforce and protect that. However, despite the criticism, many mornings of Infinity War and Anzac Day sold out. And theatre chain Event Cinemas explained that not only was the film's release date determined by the distributor, but they've always been open on the national holiday. Sticking with the land down under, an entire screening of people was saved from the unmitigated horror of having to sit through Peter Rabbit after a trailer for a horror film dubbed the year's scariest film was accidentally shown before a school holiday screening. WA Today reports that the incident occurred during an Anzac Day holiday screening of the Beatrix Potter adaptation in Innaloo, Perth. As audience members settled down for the film, a trailer for Hereditary began to play. The film, which stars Toni Collette, has received an MA 15+ rating in Australia for themes of strong horror. Its trailer features a number of unsettling scenes, including one in which a child appears to cut the head off a dead pigeon with a pair of scissors. It was dreadful. Very quickly you could tell this was not a kids' film, an audience member told the newspaper. Parents were yelling at the projectionists to stop, covering their kids' eyes and ears. Some parents fled the cinema with their kids in tow. The cinema eventually switched off the screen and later offered audience members complimentary tickets as a gesture of goodwill, and a spokesperson for Event Cinema's parent company Event Hospitality and Entertainment said the issue is being investigated internally to ensure situations like this do not occur again. By which hopefully they mean not showing Peter Rabbit anymore. God, that film sucks. Back in the States, Netflix, which appears to have more money than it knows what to do with, has decided to buy its own cinemas instead of paying down its insane debt mountain. Look at it this way. Last year, Netflix spent over $8 billion producing its own content, movies and TV shows that can only be watched on Netflix. But the fact there are no theatre runs for the feature films disqualifies Netflix from winning major awards like an Oscar. Now this is a big deal for Netflix, which said it would release 80 movies in 2018 alone. Not only because Oscars are prestigious, but also because prestige wins up new customers. No awards might also discourage talented people from signing up for a Netflix flick, since they could be winning awards with other projects. We want our films to be on fair ground with every other filmmaker, Netflix Chief Content Officer Ted Sarandos recently told Variety. There's a risk in us going in this way, and having our films and filmmakers treated disrespectfully at the festival. That's only part of the equation though. Netflix is also leaving a lot of money on the table when its films can't be shown in theatres. The theatre lockout isn't just because Netflix is Netflix either. Sarandos' Netflix buds won't budge on their idea that movies should be released on streaming service the same day they're released in theatres. Theatres won't agree to this, thus no Netflix movies in theatres. If Netflix owned its own theatres, however, the company could do a big theatrical release for those who love the big screen and a streaming release for lazy people who love convenience. But wait, there's more! Owning and operating movie theatres also means you can sell concessions. In some states that includes food and alcohol to moviegoers. Netflix could also woo its subscribers into the seats by offering discounts on tickets and food that would also become an incentive for more people to pay for Netflix subscriptions. Maybe they could do an Amazon and commission a second series of Jack Ryan before anyone has seen the first one, because that doesn't scream of hubris now, does it? This incarnation of Clancy's character sets the action in present day, with Ryan as a CIA analyst and agent who discovers a pattern of terrorist communication and is thrust into the midst of a dangerous case that has global ramifications. As with the first season, the second will feature 8 more episodes, this time with Ryan confronting the forces in power in a dangerous declining democratic regime in South America. Creators and showrunners Carlton Cuse and Graham Rowland are back with shooting set to kick off in the States, Europe and South America. We are thrilled that the first season has generated so much enthusiasm, says Cuse. We couldn't be happier to be working with Amazon and to be filming near the Amazon to tell the next great Jack Ryan adventure. Is it great though? Really? And with that said, have a nice week, be good to each other, and I'll catch you next week. I'm Daniel, this has been a Movie Wrap News. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and if you've got some spare cash burning a hole in your pocket, please consider donating to our Patreon.
Made possible by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.